Galnet News. Your galaxy in focus. 8th of March, 3301. In today's news, Code and Cosmic State in skirmish over Warinus. The blockade continues at Hudson Dock. Citizens of Tradition are victorious in Felici. Torval handles the help in Centini. Anti-slavery support grows in Centini. Pirates prospering in Tanmark. Plus a special report on the weekly Eggball Championship. Our top story today: a skirmish broke out yesterday between members of Code and Cosmic State at Warinus in the Lave system. According to a statement from Code's Commander Travan Mayhem, a small Cosmic State fleet assembled at Warinus and opened fire on pilots attempting to depart the station, who were under protection of Code. A routine Code patrol in the system was then diverted to assess the situation, at which point fighting broke out between the two factions. Cosmic State's fleet was supported by a Python and an Anaconda, and it appears that the Code retaliation focused on these larger ships in an attempt to drive them away. The Anaconda, piloted by a Commander Kudach, was forced to retreat after sustaining heavy damage from the Code attack, at which point fire was focused on the Python, which was then destroyed by Code. Commander Kudach then returned in the Anaconda in an attempt to assist the Cosmic State Python, but then succumbed to Code forces himself, although some reports suggest that this pilot could have chosen to auto-destruct the ship rather than allowing the kill credit to go to Code. It appears that the Cosmic State fleet then dispersed and retreated, giving the upper hand to the members of Code, who are, say Commander Mayhem, committed to supporting the people of Warinus and their independence, against what he described as nationalist warmongers. We understand that the situation at Warinus has now returned to normal, but this might not remain the case because both Code and Cosmic State have significant resources backing their military operations in the area. In Federation news, the construction of the new federal capital ship continues at Hudson Dock in BD 032338, despite a trade blockade operated by the East India Company, who are aiming to hamper the construction project by delaying supply of vital resources. One pilot attempting to break the blockade in order to reach Hudson Dock with vital copper was Commander Lefrain Degasis, who was approached and asked to get the supplies into the station at any cost. As the dramatic footage reveals, commanders in the area are being interdicted and asked to power off their ships or face attack from the East India Company fleet. Successful and swift production of the new Federation capital ship will likely raise tensions within the Empire due to the military threat such a ship would add to the already formidable Federal Navy, and such a strong threat to traders like Commander Degasis, who was unable to reach Hudson Dock with his delivery of copper, indicates just how seriously Imperial factions such as East India Company are taking this blockade. And now an update on the war in Felici. Senator Petraeus and the Citizens of Tradition have been successful in their crusade against the Felici Purple Gang. Felici has fallen to Imperial forces and is currently in the process of being assimilated into Imperial society. All outstanding payments due to Imperial veterans of the Felici War are now available for collection from Dornier Terminal in Nagayawang. To celebrate Senator Petraeus' victory, Senator Torval is offering a 10% discount on all Imperial slaves purchased from Dornier Terminal until next weekend. However, the war for control of Felici may not quite be over yet. Reports have started to come in from the region that a civil war is currently brewing between the Citizens of Tradition and the Federal Social Felici Partnership Party. If the Social Felici Partnership Party is successful in its attempt to disrupt the Citizens of Tradition's hold over Philip's Landing, the Federation may be able to gain control over Felici. Some news on the slavery situation in Centini right now from Caradres McCall.
Corporations operating under the direction of Senator Zemina Torval have been making waves throughout the Empire this week as shipments of unregulated slaves continue to pour into imperially sanctioned slave training centers in Centini. Despite the questionable legal nature of the Senator's import operations, the Senate has so far elected to not address the issue at any officially held quorum. Some political commentators have suggested that the lack of opposition is a clear sign of the Chancellor's waning power within the Senate, although sources close to the Chancellor have suggested that Blaine is simply too busy to deal with Zemina's frankly pathetic attempts to take advantage of the Emperor's current condition. Caradres McCall, Galnet News.
And in fact, in the wake of that story, anti-slavery support is growing in the Centini system. The Future of Sintini Party is calling on all commanders to protest the actions of the Imperial Slaves Association in the Sintini system. A spokesperson said, "Today marks the anniversary of the Act of Prohibiting Importation of Slaves, one of two acts that helped end the Atlantic slave trade in the early 19th century, and now a new slaving facility is opening up in our own backyard." The party offers their own station as a potential solution. The Future of Sintini Party will not abide by slavery, imperial or not. I make the call to commanders. Give your business to the Future of Sintini, not to the ISA. Do business at William Sargent and starve Lagerquist. Let's hit Senator Zemina Torval where it counts and kick her out of Sintini. Lagerquist Gateway orbits the second planet in the Sintini A system, while William Sargent Vision orbits the fourth. Although the Future of Sintini Party is clearly acting in defiance of established imperial policy, the recent events in the Jurius system, which saw its assets repossessed and some of its population turned into imperial slaves, will serve as a reminder to those who would openly oppose the Empire. So far, there is no threat of violence in the Sintini system, and the Future of Sintini Party are merely offering an alternate trade option for commanders who align themselves against slavery. Galnet News will continue to provide updates as the situation develops. Some news now on the prolific pirate activity that has emerged in Tanmark. Over to Caradras McCall.
Despite the Defence Force of Tanmark's overwhelming success in closing down the Tanmark Posse's operations on Lucca, hundreds of unmarked pirate ships have been attacking innocent traders as they go about their business in the system. It would appear that the recent wave of criminal activity has been sparked by the economic boom that the region has been experiencing as a result of the increased production of Lucan onion head. So far, the Defence Force of Tanmark has only been allowing traders access to a very limited amount of Lucan onion head, a decision that they claim was made in an attempt to stop criminals from targeting individual traders on their way out the system. That could all change, however, as the Defence Force of Tanmark is now offering to empty its storerooms once security in the region has been restored. Commanders interested in taking part in the security initiative should sign up for active duty aboard Cassie L. Paya in the Tanmark system. Caradras McCall, Galnet News.
And now a special report from Edison Trent on a new sporting craze sweeping the galaxy, the Egg Ball tournament.
Edison Trent here, and today I'm joined by Commanders S7 and Ace Gadget, who, if you didn't know, organised and won the recent Egg Ball tournament respectively, which are both quite huge achievements in and of themselves. So for the benefit of those at home who don't know what the Egg Ball is, why don't you give us a quick summary, S7?
Well, I'm just a lowly referee for the Egg Ball. The credit should definitely go to Ace Gadgets and Anopheles here for organising it, but to summarize, those participating in the Egg Ball will buy a cheap Sidewinder, strip out their shields, get some extra cargo space, and pick up a leathery egg at Ridley Scott Station in Zayant. And what happens then, everyone comes outside the front of the station, we eject the egg balls after the referee says go, and everyone crashes into each other, and scrambles trying to pick up the most amount of leathery eggs. Last man standing wins the game, and in the event of a tie for second or third place, whoever has the most egg balls wins.
And how many commanders ended up taking part?
Last week we had 8 participants and I believe 19 spectators at the event at Ridley Scott.
That seems like quite a handful. Like that's a lot more spectators than I expected, honestly. But I hear that you pulled it off rather well. And Ace Gadget, how did you feel going into the tournament, knowing that there was that many commanders partaking and watching you at the same time?
Basically, I knew I was going to win because all the rest of them were more intent on banging into each other, and I had a cunning plan, which kind of paid off. We did have a pre-season friendly, and the same cunning plan worked. Basically, you just hide, let everybody kill each other, and then go around picking the eggs and win. You know, I'm sure it'll not work next time because now it's public. Everybody will know about it.
I see that does seem like quite the cunning plan. So I guess that when you made it to was it round based then, or was it just one big round? S7.
It was definitely one big event, and Although the event lasted a while, we had some people running around the back of the station fighting. We had people clogging up the mail slot with surprise cargo. It was one long event, and when the last man standing, Ace Gadgets, was the last man standing, the event was over and he was pronounced the winner.
But personally, I was under the influence that it was kind of more bracket based, if you catch my meaning. But that sounds just as fun, honestly. You might find me taking part in a future tournament. Speaking of which, are you planning another tournament like the Egg Ball?
Yes, we're planning on, hopefully, although sometimes we might move it forward a day or back a day or an hour or so. We try to have them every Saturday, and last Saturday was the third Egg Ball tournament. And we hope to have more in the future with different variations on the game, more people, more spectators, different ideas.
That does sound pretty enjoyable. How can other commanders get involved in joining or spectating?
Well, we try to make it known as widely as possible. If you want more info, you can come to the code elitedangerous.engine.com/eggball, which has a lot of our details. We try to get it advertised on the Frontier forums and Reddit every week. And you can always hop onto our TeamSpeak and talk with us, and we'll help you get to the right area.
Well, there you have it, folks. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. But stay tuned for more news. This was Edison Trent with Commanders S7 and Ace Gadget. Galnet News.
That's the Galnet news for today. Tune in next time to keep your galaxy in focus.